Have you ever felt like you're inconsistent within the 24-hour clock? I have. Have you, Laura?
Yeah.
So the thing is, we actually live with another clock that we are almost never taught to live with. It's the infradian clock. It's the 28-day cycle clock. And this is exciting because actually we are consistent. We are very consistent, but within a different kind of framework. And this framework has 4 different seasons. And Laura, have you ever been taught this?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Me neither, actually. Until maybe 3 months ago. This is crazy. I'm 29 and you are older than 40.
Yes, I am.
And how would have this changed your life? What do you think?
Well, now that I'm learning more about this is something that, as opposed to a 24-hour cycle where you're expected to perform the same every day, learning that this other cycle is more in tune with the way women actually are meant to work, which is along a 28 cycle, which is a curse, but at the same time,
it's actually not a curse. It's not, because we are not meant to live within the constant hustle that we are constantly pushed. We shouldn't, because our bodies don't work like that. We need seasons where we rest. And then we also have seasons where we grind, where we are social. But these are seasons. These aren't consistent 24-hour, I'm going to push myself all the time. This will lead to burnout.
Big time.
Big time. And so let's dive into it a little deeper.
Absolutely.
So we have 4 different seasons. The first one is quite easy. Everyone knows about this one because we bleed, we have cramps, but we can also help make those symptoms a little easier and actually dive into the strengths of this menstrual phase. So our menstrual phase is probably around 6 days. And our brain becomes highly analytical. And it sees patterns that it usually doesn't see. It's like black and white within this phase. And with this phase, it can tell you that this one thought you were thinking about so long ago, that's not the right direction. But we're just taught that it's a curse, then why would we think that our intuition could be right in this phase?
Sure.
Right? So our menstrual phase has value, even if it's painful. But the menstrual phase follows another phase. It's the follicular phase. Within that follicular phase, what does our energy start doing?
That's when we're actually starting to get an energy increase. That's when we're feeling good.
We're feeling good,
exactly.
Right? We're feeling a little bit more social.
Mm-hmm.
We are more expressive.
Mm-hmm.
We are more creative.
Yes.
And we think, okay, we're back. I'm actually this person now that I always want to be.
Yep.
But we never lost ourselves in the other phases. We have a different type of personality, let's say, within the month. And that's okay. This is why we sometimes feel like we lose ourselves. We think that we should be one person all the time, right?
Nobody is, yeah.
And nobody is, exactly. Yeah. Nobody is, but we keep being pushed that we should be. So we went from highly analytical to starting to become more social, and then we actually peak. And in this peak phase, this third phase, it's ovulation. This is when our estrogen levels peak, and we want to be highly visible. We want to talk. We want to go dance if we're young. We want to paint a new painting and give it to someone if we're not as young. Read it. I don't know. Do something we enjoy.
Yes.
What do you enjoy in your high energy phase?
Gosh, that's when I want to socialize and see my friends and, we're going to talk about the book club, this, or you want to go somewhere. You want, let's go meet for lunch. Let's do this. But my energy is not always like that. It's always during, it's a nice window, but yes.
It's a nice window, right?
The most social, the most productive at work.
Yeah.
Those are the on days.
Yeah. You're the most extroverted. That's exactly it. But then our energy slowly starts dipping. So our estrogen levels start lowering. And then another little creature comes in, and it's progesterone. Mm-hmm. And it's not a curse. Progesterone will lower your energy. It will make you less social, and you will have more introverted tendencies. But there is actually a light at the tunnel, because with this phase, the luteal phase, our strengths are in the more executionary skills, right? So whatever projects we started in our follicular phase,
the ideas and stuff. And
exactly. Yeah. Those things. We want to finish those. We want to finish those projects. We want to finish writing a chapter of a book. We want to finish a presentation, but not do the presentation, but finish it, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe we can finish designing something. Just finish anything we started. And in this phase, it's actually the longest phase. We want to make sure that we close out the month strongly.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you'll also be like, okay, I want to finish cleaning that closet I've been putting away, putting aside. You want to just finish those projects. And then once you get back to menstrual, you become reflective again and be like, well, how was that month? Did the things I do help me, or did they hinder me?
Reflection is very important.
It's very important. And so if we can also help stabilize the symptoms in menstruation, we can find the strengths in them. And it's not a curse anymore.
Having it work for your body instead of against you.
Exactly.
That would be great.
Yeah. So what can you tell me from, let's say, an experience where when you were younger, you could have used these kind of ebbs and flows, these seasons, to your advantage?
Oh, God. Just everything, everything from school to working to, starting projects, just knowing that certain days. So we're not taught much about anything except your period. All right. So we learn about our periods, and they teach you all this stuff in school, but they don't tell you how it's going to drain you, how it's going to affect your moods, how it's going to affect your energy, your production, anything. And if I had known that it was normal, there'd be less self-blame. You'd feel better about it. And also just even knowing that something was going to come back. Okay. There's certain days that you're just spinning your wheels and you feel brain dead and you just feel off. Like, my workout isn't going as well. Why is any of this happening? And if I had known that maybe it has something to do with your cycle, I never would have made that association. So this fascinates me.
Yeah.
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 Time.
It's big time. Like you said, with the workouts, you shouldn't be the same extroverted ovulation person all month long, trying to strive for that hustle, that perfect workout that will grow all your muscles and make you the perfect image of what we're supposed to be. Because the big thing too is during your luteal phase, your body literally is doing way more already. And it's dealing with inflammation. It's dealing with less coordination. So pushing yourself in those kind of high energy workouts will probably lead to injuries or at least burnout. Mm-hmm. So if you use the phases that are higher energy for better workouts, better progress, and then let your body actually rest, which is what it craves during the lower energy phases, you'd have so many more stronger results, because you wouldn't just burn yourself out and then pause for a month or pause for a few weeks because you'd feel like you failed,
Yeah. So you're saying that understanding that during certain phases, your body's not going to be able to do the same things.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's going to catch up on the seasons and days that your body is meant to and has that energy because it's not being placed elsewhere.
Exactly.
So that does, you're not burning yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course you are capable to do everything in all those phases. You can. But again, pushing yourself when you're not supposed to will lead to burnout. And when you're burnt out, your brain's not working anymore. Mm-hmm. Your body doesn't want to do certain things. And then you start blaming yourself for not having that energy, which honestly, you shouldn't have the same energy throughout the month.
And we really don't. Like, the hormone levels definitely
do
affect our energy.
They do.
And our thinking and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. So during the higher energy states, we have more estrogen. And this hormone pushes our energy higher, coordination. You're more of the person you really want to be all the time. You wish you were.
Yeah.
Because you're pushed into that like high energy all the time. But during your luteal phase, the hormone that leads you is progesterone, and it is lower energy. You need to sleep more. Yeah, you need more sleep. You need more rest during the luteal phase. Your mornings usually will be a little bit slower, should be slower. So if you are allowed to, prep the things that you need in the morning the night before, because you're in the luteal phase, you're going to have a harder time to wake up. And so you're ready for the next day if you set yourself up that way a little more, because you can also sleep in a little longer because you did a little more the night before. So a little bit more prep within the lenses of the phases is very helpful. So what are some mindset shifts we should take in order to help within the phases?
So if you know that you have strengths within each phase of your cycle, okay, so for example, we're prepared when we know we're getting our period. We're prepared for that week. Mm-hmm. We're not planning things, obviously. Like, we're not going, maybe you're putting off that swim trip, or maybe that's on beach day, whatever it is, you're feeling bloated, all these things. But if you know that your energy is going to be best during your follicular phase, that's your spring phase, right? Mm-hmm. Then that's when you know you're going to be on. You know you're going to be on. You know you can be at your best, all right? And maybe use that time to prep for the time that luteal phase is coming up. Yeah. Prepare for it. Maybe, meal prep for it, or give yourself also the self-compassion that, okay, this is not going to be your best week. Great if I feel great, but maybe if I'm feeling like dog meat, okay, I've got a reason for it. And that's comforting. This is all normal. And I think just knowing that something is normal and prepping yourself for each phase and season of your cycle, I think that it's a much better way, as opposed to, the daily grinds, because that's exactly what we're being force fed.
Yeah, we are.
And I don't think it matches with the way that we're built.
No, we're cyclical creatures. We cycle through different phases. We're not the same all the time.
No.
And like you said, prepping ahead of time and knowing where you're at. So, intuitively tracking, like, this is the first day of my period, and then going through each phase. You have menstrual, follicular, ovulation, and luteal. But also, there's different devices we can use now, which is awesome. Like the Oura Ring, it'll tell you which phase you're in.
Really?
Yeah, it will. It counts it out, and it measures your body temperature, which is really cool.
Oh, especially, that's good to know also with
menstruation.
Yes, menstruation or conception or whatever else you need.
Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't know that. All right.
Another way is using the moon as your phases, and this is the infradian rhythm, the 28-day cycle. So using 2 clocks and then planning within those clocks is super important for females. It really is. And we're just not taught this. So let's say in your luteal phase, your memory is a little bit worse. Okay, we talked about this. Yeah. What's one of your luteal examples?
Oh my God. I'll never forget coming home from work and finding a cereal box in the refrigerator. And I mean, I'm too young for this shit, right?
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm too young for this. So, if the cereal box is in the fridge, where that milk is sitting and rotting, obviously, all day long. So, you sit there and you wonder, like, why? I'm a smart person. Yeah. I'm a smart woman. How can I do stuff like this?
Exactly.
But again, now I can play, it's a luteal day.
Exactly. No.
Yeah. No. The fact that there's actually the dips in our hormones are what causes that. That's actually what causes, like, in
you're not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. This is normal.
Exactly.
This is totally normal. Unfortunate. But
hilarious. And a good story. This actually happened not too long ago. My husband was looking for mayo And we looked everywhere. And I started looking at cupboards just in case, because I knew my memory wasn't all there. And then I opened the oven and there was the mayo.
Whatever you were doing at the time, it made sense. It made sense at the time.
I opened a door. It wasn't the fridge door, but I opened it.
Oh my gosh, that's right. The door.
Yeah, and it makes you feel stupid, but you know what? If you realize, like, hey, I'm actually in my luteal phase, and my brain's a little bit slower in this way, then that's okay.
Its energy is being put
somewhere else. Exactly. So what I like to also think about is you want to plan and prep in the higher energy. So that means maybe even keep a journal or a notebook during the luteal phase. So have that prepped. And maybe you can't stick with a journal or a planner all month. Mm-hmm. I can't. I've tried many times. But I know that there are systems to put into place when my memory, for example, needs something to keep it going. I'll use a planner, a journal, write things down that I need to remember, or even just alarms in the phone. Just knowing that your brain will be a little bit slower, a little bit different in the luteal phase. And that's okay too. And again, you don't have to have the journal all month long and just be like, oh, I'm so consistent all the time. You're not. Like, you're different throughout the month. And that doesn't make you worse or anything. It just,
But the feedback, I think that's a great idea, because the journal can give feedback over, especially like, tracking symptoms and just feelings and being
exactly.
A journal allows you to look back and see a pattern. That's the one thing that's nice. And journaling is also really good for your sanity.
It really is, because it gives you a way to express yourself where maybe you don't want other people to hear it or something, but
absolutely.
You can go back and be like, hey, like I've grown through and I've pushed myself through this struggle and it helped,
It also shows you how far you've come.
Exactly.
So I remember journaling. I journaled for years. So I basically kept journal from the time, I want to say 6th grade, I started it.
You still do?
Not,
as consistent,
once I had kids, I stopped.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I'm talking, I probably have about 12 years worth of journaling, especially through college. The thing is you see how not only moods change, but also your handwriting would change through your moods. Yeah,
so true.
It's really crazy. And it really teaches you more about yourself than anything else. Because what essentially, like in therapy, that's what I've worked in psych. And one of the reasons why we tell people to journal is it is a self-reflection, but it's also you're teaching yourself. You're learning from past patterns and you're seeing, okay, like, how does this kind of day that I had work with my cycle? All right. Am I really, it's good feedback to show. Yeah. It's good feedback to basically see, how your moods and how things you're trying to do are actually turning out and the outcomes. So being able to compare is really nice. That's all rambling, but being able to compare is really nice. And I think that doing that in conjunction with starting to track. So I feel like there's no coincidence that the moon phases are the same amount of days as our phase. If the moon can like change tides, okay, like it's obviously doing something with our bodies too.
Yeah.
We used to joke around about that in the ER.
For sure. Yeah.
It's got to be a full moon day. I mean, that's when the crazies are out. So it's not, it's definitely not just.
No, it's not us. Yeah. And it's something with the magnetism of the moon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because, exactly.
So, but that's just an example of the moon is a cyclical phase. So basically.
It is. It's
what is that? Infradian?
Yeah.
So if the moon has this much of a change over this kind of a cycle, and it has to do with, you were saying, fertility of the earth, and, farmers used to use this. There's a reason for it. And I think that I'm very much interested to see how clocking our cycles can actually start making things work for us a little bit better.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that was a very good conversation, very important, and I think that diving into it even deeper will help us become even more in sync with our biology, which we need to learn about. Unfortunately, we're not taught at school or anything, but we can learn this even on YouTube, even on there's so many books we can learn on all of this, and I think
there's a lot of information out there.
There's a lot of information, and I think that the more we dive into this, the more our lives will actually become more cohesive with how we should be feeling and how we are feeling.
Absolutely.
And I think that's an important conversation to have. So, Laura.
Yes.
Our first conversation.
Yes,
super fun. Yay. We'll see you again. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.